Hello and welcome back to Island Girl Gardening and Up. So as you can see, I am sitting down at the moment, my sweaty shirt. I went through the garden and did some harvesting. Pardon my towel. I'm doing a little bit of sweating out here. Even though the sun has gone down, it's still a little humid. It's been a beautiful day. We spent the day outside just hanging on the swing. This is where we've been all day. And made a little video. And I'm just making another little one just to show the harvest from today. Just for maybe about 10 minutes worth of harvesting, if that. But I just wanted to show you what we pulled out the garden. I know we haven't been doing as many of those videos this year, showing our harvest. But you know, of course, when we get to our sweet potatoes, and I think we showed the potato harvest. We've shown some, but most of them, because it's just been so incredibly warm, we kind of just run out, pick some stuff, and run back in. Well, that's what I do. I don't know what Mr. Up be doing, but for me, that's what I do. So as you can see, we got squash. That's a lemon squash. We got some eggplant. Those are beauties. And some tomatoes down there at the bottom. Oops. And then up here, I got some more tomatoes. And I got some peppers in the bottom of this one. It's some hot peppers that we pulled today. And then just, I think, just a regular green pepper. And another squash. Some more eggplant. Cucumber. So that was the harvest for today. Oh, let me put that down there. So even though it was really warm today and we didn't do anything early, that was a nice little harvest. So that was the harvest from today. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Always thankful for whatever we grow and it comes to fruition. The Lord's hand is always in it, and we are always thankful for whatever the Lord provides. And we feel like we're doing our part in helping to grow and have our friends and neighbors have some fresh vegetables and fruits. Mr. Up is actually watering and fertilizing. I think he just finished, but that's what he was doing. And even though the garden looked a little overgrown this year, I know for me, I didn't do a whole lot of weeding or cutting back or anything like that. So it was a little overgrown this year. Just going to give you a quick overview. Of course, we got our watermelons here, watermelons and cantaloupe. We got a cantaloupe in there that's almost ripe. And the tomato patch. I'm just going to call it tomato patch, which has truly been a blessing. There's still more tomato in there. But as you can see, they're laying in the aisle. They're just all grown over. They didn't get as big as last year, but that's quite all right. They still produced. There's my sunflower back there. Big old girl. Then, of course, the squash is overgrown, as you can see. But this I actually had cut back several times, and it still grew. You can see, just follow the little trail. And it's got squash down there, and the big old leaves, and it's grown across the bed where the bitter melon is, and my eggplant. But everything's still been producing, so it didn't harm anything. It's just everywhere. As you can see, the leaves for the squash are everywhere, and it's little squash everywhere. So we have had our share of squash to be able to share. And squash there. Squash was in the strawberry bed. I mean, squash, as you can see over there, it's growing up and attaching itself to the fence. So this squash this year really loved where it was and really has produced. We've gotten quite a few squash from these plants in this particular bed already. And like I said, the eggplant is here. And we've got quite a few eggplant too. And as you can see, as we follow the squash, you can see the squash is just trailing on down the walkway. So we just kind of follow that. And as you can see, this is my Kung Pao pepper. We actually got a couple of these today. And it's kind of falling over the aisle too. But it has a bunch of peppers on it. And really, if it has its fruit on it and it's still doing fine, I don't mess with it. I really don't. So I didn't sit it up. I didn't do anything with it. Just let it go how it will. More eggplant. These have been producing well also. Then over here, of course, was my radishes and my turnip. There's a couple more left in here. I left them because they were a little small. So I will probably pull these out. And as you can see, a bunch of grass. No weeding. But the Lord still provided. Sweet potato. It is running everywhere. I haven't cut that this year. Usually I do clip those, try and clip the sweet potato bed back to try and keep control of it. But I didn't this year. And as you can see, that squash plant, you see it right there? There it goes, all the way up to the fence. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a squash that's hanging over there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I didn't cut any of that back either. I got my sunflower. I'm hoping I'll be able to get some seeds from it. That was where my spaghetti squash is. I don't know if it's going to produce any others. I got one off of it, but I don't know if it's going to have any others this season. We got cantaloupe here, and we got a little one right down here. Little one right there. I got some okra. A couple okra plants. They're not very big, but look at the okra on them. What? Big okra. Look at how big the plants are. The plants are not even 2 feet. No, nowhere near. But look at the okra on them. So imagine what these girls would have done if they were huge. I'm not mad, because those okra on there, they'll be perfect raw. I love them like that. I pluck them right off of there and eat them. Pepper bed. Pepper plants are still small, but here again, they got fruit on them. We got veggies. We got peppers. They didn't get as big as they usually do, but that's okay. And this is the other side. And you can see the tomato patch. That's just what I call it, the tomato patch, because that's what it has become, just a patch of plants and tomatoes and leaves, and yeah, so that's the tomato patch. Alrighty, so moving on, just stepping through here. This is where our corn was. Trying to think of what I want to put in here for the rest of the season. Tomato patch. Let's bypass the tomato patch. And of course, we got our pineapples that are still ripening. It should be ready shortly. All right, let's see what else we got going on. And this is my little project right here. It's my bird of paradise. Ain't she a beauty? I got 2 of them. And they have been expanding and growing all summer. Now, I didn't know this about the bird of paradise. When you cut the leaves back, see, this was a long leaf like this one. See how long that leaf is? When they kind of die back, you cut them. What I didn't know this about the bird of paradise is when you cut those leaves back, inside of that little hole right there, I just happened to be looking at them this week, and I saw this. That is a new addition to the bird of paradise. I don't know if you can see that really good, but it's growing out of the inside of this, where this was cut out. Now, if I cut this back a little further, there might be another addition to it. So I've kind of cut that back so they can kind of spread their wings too. And then on the side here also, I got another one. Look at that. And then today I cut this leaf back just a little more because I saw a little peeking through there, and you can see it's got another addition to it. So this definitely is going to need another pot. So I have my pot all ready. She's getting the big Bertha because she's going to need some more room. And I'm gonna see how this grows. These two bird of paradise were gifts from a friend, so I'm really excited about bird of paradise. Is my very favorite flower, so I'm really excited about the bird of paradise, about these two particular plants. And as you can see, this one's got a new leaf. This one right here is a new leaf, and this is what they grow out of. They're all twisted up, and then they bloom out and come into these beautiful leaves. I'm just waiting for the flowers. I don't know if they're old enough just yet to have the flowers, but I've never done this before, nor have I owned any bird of paradise, so I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll see what happens. But see, this one I haven't cut any leaves off of this one, as you can see. But this one did something else. See right there? See that little number right there? It's growing another little bird of paradise. So this one is just growing on the side. Now, I'm assuming that one is just coming from the root of the bird of paradise and not growing like the other one is inside the leaf. So I have to see what happens with this one. I'm going to leave this one in this pot for right now because this pot is big enough for this particular one for right now. But as I watch this, and I'll keep you updated on it, as I watch that, I'll let you know what's going on with that. And as you can see, banana tree has gotten humongous, and then has a big baby. Do you see that? Do you see how tall that is? Growing out the same pot. And now we got a little one right there. We've already taken, and there's another one coming around here. Look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh, sweet. Sylvester's already taken 2 of them out of this particular pot. So the ones that are coming now, I want to see about putting in the yard. So I'll tackle that at another date. That'll be a whole other project. This is my other little project right here. These 2 little beauties right here. My avocado tree. Say hello to Sadie. And my papaya tree. And she has blossomed. I'm getting ready to transplant her out of this pot. She was a itty bitty, but this year she took off. I'm just looking at the growth and I am just amazed at how much it has grown. So I'm really excited about a papaya tree because I want papaya. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on this and making sure she bears some fruit. I'm really excited about her, but she has grown, and so is my avocado tree. I put it outside and she has been doing her thing. There she is. So that's my papaya tree. So like I said, a little overgrown, a little overrun, but still love it. Still beautiful. Still producing. I'm just going to walk into the little greenhouse here so we could take a look at my yellow dragon fruit. I moved these from this particular greenhouse, which is the plastic one, because I think it was a little too hot for them. Looked like they had some scorching right through here. The only reason why I left these 2 particular ones, because you see these little spiny on here, and this is the one I transplanted earlier. I think I made a video of me transplanting this one. I think, can't remember if I did or not, but I'm going to be transplanting another one. So if I didn't, I will show you how I transplant and then set it up. But this one's actually doing awesome since I transplanted. I was a little nervous. I didn't know how it was going to do, but it has done awesome. It's got all kinds of new growth on it, new buds and new limbs and everything. But as you see right here, these are roots. And what those roots are looking for is soil. So what happened here between these 2 is, you see this limb right here. Ouch, it's a little prickly. There was some roots at the end of this limb. You see where it's attached into the bottom of that pot? Well, the roots found some soil and they attached themselves to the soil. So these 2 plants right now, I'm not going to disturb them. I'm gonna leave them like they are. They're kind of joined by that one little limb that reached out there and dug its little roots inside the soil. See, it's stuck in there. It's in there. It's in there. So I said I'm not gonna bother them. I'm just gonna leave them co-joined like they are and let them do their thing. I lost my towel. My face is sweaty. That's why I haven't put myself back on camera. But a little peek in the greenhouse. Where I got a plethora of things in here. Well, not a plethora. I got tomato, I got squash, I got a cucumber, I got some peppers. But this is where I put my other yellow dragon fruit. It was a little shadier. It gets pretty warm in here, so they'll still have their tropical feel. But as you can see, they are still doing awesome. But this one right here is the one I'm going to transplant. Because you can see this has a lot of roots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a bigger pot. And then I'm going to take that pot and sit it on just a bed of soil. And I'm going to let these roots here embed into the soil. And I'm going to see what happens. So that's going to be an experiment on this one. The other 2 or 3, yeah, it's 3 of them, I'm going to leave. This little one was the one that I broke earlier this year. And I just decided to root it. And it's doing pretty good. And it's got a little roots on it too. Now this one right here is the one that when I transplanted the big one that was in the other greenhouse, I clipped a couple of the limbs off of that one. And because they had some roots on them, I said, well, I'm going to put them in some soil and see what they do. So they have caught on. And as you can see, they have new growth on them. That's new. Those 2 are new. And actually, that's new. I was trying to look for that one. That one right there that's laying across there. So they have 4 new limbs. I call them limbs. Arms, hands, legs. But it's actually doing pretty good. So I'm gonna, that experiment worked well. I didn't know what would happen with it, but it seems like it's doing okay. Now these are prickly. I do have a couple prickles on my fingers right now, but they're not so bad. You can just get them out with a pair of tweezers. But yeah, these are my yellow dragon fruit. So I'm really looking forward to them being old enough to bear fruit. And they're getting there. They're getting there. So just see what happens. But by the end of the summer, I'll probably have transplanted all of them because they all need some more space. And, you know, give them some more space. Sit the bigger limbs up. I call them limbs. I don't know exactly what you would call them, but I call them limbs. Sit the bigger of the limbs up in the center, you know, for support for them. Because as you can see, this one here, I'm just coming outside. So you can see this one. There we go. You can see how big those limbs are. So these I would set up as centers. And there's one more right here. So I would take those and set them up as centers. And put them in a bigger pot. But yeah, they're ready. You can see they are ready. Ready. So by the end of the summer, yeah, I will have transplanted all of them. But yeah, I just wanted to walk you through a little bit and let you see what I was doing. I haven't done, like I said, my usual things in the garden. But the Lord still blesses. They have been fertilized. They have been watered. We have harvested. So everything's looking good. It is. It's looking good. Looking good. So until next time, guys. Maybe I won't be sweating. But until next time. This is Island Girl Gardening and Up. Be blessed.